neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Excuse me. Lord. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Welcome, everybody, to another edition. Power to the people. It is for a Buffalo winter day compared to what other people are experiencing. It's a wonderful day. Are we live? You believe so? All right, let's know so I'm not just talking to the internet audience. Well, at least I know that's live. But I really do want to know radio. Radio, we're calling you back to make sure we're live on the air so that I'm not wasting time. A lot has gone. We are on the radio? Okay. A lot has gone on this week. Number one today, snow in the South, specifically Atlanta, Georgia, is getting, for them a lot. There's a live camera that I was able to catch, and the highway there in Atlanta is like empty. You see a car go, probably Buffalonians there are able to make it through if their cars are equipped, but it would be even hard for Buffalonians to make it through, and I'm going to tell you why. When it snows, you get a little snow here. We have ice, we have salt.
Yeah.
And they're able to clear the roads easier, and they have the equipment. You have a place like Atlanta that I don't know how often they get any accumulation, but they're not equipped. So even if you're from a snowy place, if you're from a Chicago, if you're from a Buffalo, New York City, it's very difficult to get around because the streets are like ice.
Well, and I think we remember when they got snow a few years ago. I think that's when we heard that Atlanta only had like one or two plow trucks
that are able to
that could move. And so if you only got two plow trucks, like you said, you might not even have a truck that's equipped to carry salt through the city.
So they have winter storm warnings in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Yikes.
Which is crazy. Heavy mix of precipitation are expected out in Atlanta Metro under a winter storm warning. Heavy snow, cold gives southern U.S. a wintry blast, so it's not just Atlanta, but all in the South, in parts of Memphis, 4 to 8 inches near Memphis, Tennessee. If you're in the mountain areas, 0.25 inches from far northeastern Alabama. You know things. And here's the wild thing. We have an incoming president that doesn't believe in global warming or climate change.
No, he doesn't.
But you want to take over Antarctica,
Greenland, and all of it.
Right. So folks, this is really serious because what's going to happen for the next 4 years is that there isn't going to be a big concentration on the environment from the federal government.
Right.
That's going to put us even further behind when the next president, because this president will only be president for 4 years, and that's going to put us further behind when we talk about our ecosystem. And I am very, very concerned when you see, listen, you know who making money right now in Buffalo? The plow people.
Yeah.
Because if they're under contracts with people like churches and all that, they ain't had to do much.
No.
And they getting their money.
Absolutely.
So they get paid regardless. And sometimes I see them just sitting out in the parking lot.
Just sit there waiting.
Just like, okay, well, we throw a little salt around or we do something like that. But they are making money because of the fact. Like here at the church, we got a contract.
Yep.
At my house, I got a contract.
So whether it's snow or not, I got my money.
But the people in Atlanta, big ups to our listening audience in Atlanta. And if you are out of state and you're watching or you're listening, Hit me up on Facebook and let me know how it's in your area. Give me a little detail. Are you in the house? Has school been canceled? Shaniqua Monet says we got hit too in Texas.
Texas.
What? That they got hit?
I'm glad everybody else gets some snow. Because Linda King, we know, she did a polar plunge in Sweden. I said, Linda, now you can do a polar plunge in Atlanta.
She can, because
you
Atlanta.
can do some little snow angels, all that good stuff in Atlanta. Yeah.
Well, the boys' school canceled last night, so they didn't have to go to school today. And a lot of the jobs are still open, but the people can't make it in.
Yeah.
Because they're sliding all over the place and getting stuck and all kinds of stuff. So this global change is real. It's really real. And then you look at, and I know this is just the wildfires that have happened in California.
Wow.
This is crazy. Stuff that's going on right now. Wildfires in California, in Los Angeles County.
Yeah.
Yes.
Burning down iconic places, and because it was so dry,
Yep.
and normally there would be some moisture, it's so dry that it's just like kindling wood. That's it.
Yeah.
And just moving on.
Well, and I was getting ready to say, when we were doing our meetings with the National Weather Service, and I know they said it wasn't going to be an El Nino year, which of course just determines the way the wind flows through the country. I think it was a La Nina year, so all just jet streams and everything like that. But they kind of talked about how if the jet stream goes this way, it would be a lot more precipitation.
They look like salt.
A lot more precipitation, in the southern part, and then we'll stay with our lake effect, but a lot more precipitation would be on the central to southern part of the country. The other most interesting thing is they said, I think here you go. There's a whole pack.
That's all right. Thanks. C.
The most interesting thing they actually said is the last wildfire that broke out was arson.
Well, right.
Yeah. So,
But the problem is, even with the arson, if global changing, if the climate is changing so much that the environment can't help put out the fire.
Right.
So now you've got these high winds, you've got no moisture, and it's burning down communities.
Yeah.
It's serious.
They said the winds were 100 miles an hour. That's like a hurricane.
yeah, it is.
Well, okay, we're going to keep talking, but I got so much. Did you see the funeral? So I'm always, I'm veteran. I love pomp and circumstance. So I'm watching the funeral of President Carter.
I knew you would.
Did you see when they were outside of the cathedral and the brother was trying to hold on to the presidential flag? Oh, you got to see it. The wind, so your hat in the military is called cover.
Yeah.
His cover blows off, and you can't
go get it.
You got to stand.
Yeah.
So he was the only one who did not have on a hat, and he could not hold. He was like the wind was blowing him around. I was paying more attention to him, so that by the time they go in, they switched him. They had taken him. He could barely hold the flag.
Wow.
And the wind was so high. I don't know if anybody else.
That was
Somebody said they worry about your clothes. They said, Mark, you rocking that orange hoodie. Last
Thank you, I
days for
appreciate it.
show. Shaniqua says school was out for yesterday and today. That wind was blowing so heavy
in D.C.
In D.C., it was. Let me tell you, if they moved the camera away from him, I would find another feed so that I could
So you
see
can
it,
see.
because the body was still in the hearse, and so you have a United States flag on one side, but wherever the body is, you have to have the presidential flag.
Right.
So he's holding the presidential flag, and he just couldn't. He was being literally. I thought the man was going to get knocked down. Literally, I wish I could find. I'm going to find the feed in here in a minute. So President Jimmy Carter has passed on. For those of you youngins who don't know who Jimmy Carter is, the reason we have something called Habitat for Humanity was because of Jimmy Carter.
Wow, I didn't know
Jimmy
that.
Carter started Habitat for Humanity. Jimmy Carter only made it through one term, and a lot had to do with the hostages situation. But he was probably and I'm not taking away from any other president, the most Christian, down-to-earth
absolutely.
president we had.
Absolutely.
And so one of the reasons that President Trump is upset about, and he went to the funeral, the incoming president, is because Jimmy Carter gave the Panama Canal away. Now, let me just give a quick, so that everybody knows and you know what's going on, because we know local, we don't know national.
Nope.
To get from one side, so the Panama Canal was dug by basically Americans who tens of thousands lost their lives digging it because of malaria and dying of malaria. Tens of thousands died. But it was a waterway so that the military was able to get from one ocean to the other, and that you were able to get ships with goods and services.
Without going all
but
the
it
way
was really
around
military.
South America.
Without going, because without the Panama Canal, which basically, let me tell you what the Panama, it's a cut through.
Yes.
It's the back alley to get from one way to the other. And so the United States said, we'll dig it because then if we go to war, we'll be able to get through. That was a long, long time ago. It is, so now Panama charges, of course. So Jimmy Carter said, we're giving you back. Now, I lived in Panama. My daughter was born in Panama. I was stationed in Panama. Jimmy Carter comes along and says, Panama, we've been here long enough. We giving you your stuff back.
Right.
Give us $1. We selling you the land. So that's why the incoming president is like, we need to take over the Panama Canal. We need to do this because we need it back because they're charging us all this money. So basically what happens to go through the cut, you got to wait on one side of the water, and then the water on one side goes down, other side goes up. Right. You go in the channel, you're parked there, and then the water changes so you can go through.
Okay.
But they charge a lot of money for the ships to go through. Trump's problem with this is we built it. Jimmy Carter gave it away. I want it back. Now, Congress hasn't said they want it back.
No.
Trump says he wants it back, or we're not ruling out military. You can't go and take somebody's land that has been given back to the people of Panama. It is very disrespectful to say we coming back. Now you want go and make a deal with Panama. Go and make a civil deal with Panama that American ships that go through, you charge a different rate. Do whatever you have to do, but you cannot go and take Panama. So that's why he talked bad about Jimmy Carter.
Yep.
But Jimmy Carter started Habitat for Humanity. He cared about poor people. Yep. And his last funeral yesterday was at his church. Little church in Plains, Georgia. Yep. Yeah. And it was beautiful that a former president, not only is at the cathedral, but he ends at his home church.
I was getting ready to say, that's what they said. He was probably the only known president to actually still teach Sunday school and Bible study.
So everybody who lives in a Habitat for Humanity house, that was started by Jimmy Carter. Matter of fact, his daughter, and I don't know how many other presidents' kids went, his daughter he put in public school in Washington.
Wow.
She went to public school.
Wow.
I mean, with Secret Service, but
sure.
she was here in Buffalo. He brought her to Buffalo to Shaw Memorial AME Zion Church, where the Williams were.
Oh, okay.
Porter. So I don't know whether I don't think he was president then. I think he was running, but he came to Buffalo. He went to church at Shaw Memorial.
Wow.
And he had Amy, I think his daughter's name was. He had Amy with her. And so rest in peace. He was a great president.
So you talked about the funeral. And I saw a little clip where George Bush walked in, and he didn't even say anything to Donald Trump.
He didn't. Now, see, everybody was watching the same thing.
Yeah.
So when my man came in, when Obama with his cool self came in, without Michelle,
What's up?
Trump never stood up. So I said, this is about to be awkward. So I said, I know Michelle probably said, I ain't going, I got to sit next. You know where Michelle is, don't you?
No.
Hawaii.
Oh.
She had a former engagement, a previous engagement already scheduled for Hawaii.
I ain't mad.
I ain't mad either. Because I guess she say, like I say, once I retired, I'm like, I ain't got to go to such and such. Everybody, you coming to this? No, I don't have to do that. So, Michelle was not there. That was a big talk. Who she get to? She a sister for real.
Yes.
Barack was probably like, honey, we gonna take the flight out. I'm not going, Barack.
No.
Barack, I'm out here on this beach.
We all know. We all know. Hey, you talked about it last night in Bible study. We all know our facial expressions. If we somewhere we don't want to be, I could only imagine what she would have been sitting there.
Marie Collins had brought it. She said, sorry, not sorry. Mike Pence's wife stared straight forward, her face in disgust when Trump shook her husband's hand. Fake handshake, of course. Yeah, the sisters to these presidents, they don't be having it.
No.
They do, because I never saw, because Bill Clinton, my man, they was just looking straight ahead. Trump was talking Barack's ear off. I want somebody who can read lips.
Now, you know AI has already.
Oh, did they really?
Oh, there's been there was one AI, if I could find, I wish I could find it quickly. There was one AI where they actually have Trump and Obama fighting.
Really?
In the pew.
Dude.
I'm on the phone.
It was hilarious to see, because Trump ain't have nobody to talk to. It was just him.
Barack
But
was listening to that joker. I was like,
the crazy thing is they put Melania on the end. Like, was that a Secret Service move? Like, we're going to put you on the end in case some shooting happened. You going first, sis. You going first. You would think they would have, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. Somebody put up, like, who did this seating arrangement?
Yeah.
You put him next to Barack, and I know some people was happy. Okay, let me see.
You got
Trump.
it?
No, you got it. Trump.
But it's on my phone. Hold on. I got it.
Pence. No, Trump, Obama conversation. Because, lip reading. There it is. I
Hold
knew
on.
it.
Can you?
Go ahead.
Oh, that's the light. I got to turn the light off.
What did Trump say to Obama?
Yeah, that's the AI of.
That's the AI.
that's the AI.
Trump asked point blank what he discussed with Obama at Jimmy Carter's funeral. Hold on. I ain't got time to do it. But on the break, I'll find it. If we can find the AI during the break, I'll find it during the break. But he was talking his ear off, and I couldn't watch the whole thing. I knew it was going to be long.
Yeah, I couldn't.
It was long. But what I was impressed with was the people who had passed, who had already written eulogies for Jim. So Ford, because when Ford's son got up there reading, I had to look up. Is President Ford still alive? But then he said, I had to change this. My dad had to change this, obviously, several times. So, like, different people said that. But they had people who had passed with eulogies, and their children read it for Carter. So it was amazing. Y'all know I love funerals anyway.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing funeral, all the pomp and circumstance, but I couldn't. Yeah. But I said, somebody going to fall asleep. I thought it was going to be
Uncle Joe.
Yeah. So, but then they showed where the incoming president fell asleep. But I saw about 5 people. When I say knocked out, I just wish I had been a cameraman. So I would have had everybody on. This one is asleep. I would have been asleep. Because you got to figure, and especially their family, they've been up all night. They had to get up early. They got to, you got to go through all the protocols. Then they went from wherever they were to D.C., then from D.C. to Georgia, and then had another funeral. That's a lot of funerals.
And I was getting ready to say,
family members, they would get a pass, but Trump, how does he go to a funeral?
Well, and then he talked about so bad about Obama falling asleep. Did Obama fall asleep? I didn't see anything about it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I was getting ready to say.
They gave him some uppers.
And then you got to remember, he got a Lion State. They had the big thing over in the Capitol Rotunda for all day. Yes, the other day. So, yeah, it's a.
I get sleepy in an hour funeral. I get sleepy in an hour funeral. So, I know me. I'd have been on CNN. And I snore.
And the cathedral ain't got the comfortable seating. It's all wood pew. Oh, no, man.
I'd have been asleep too. Marie Collins says she didn't want to see Trump straight up. Janice says Michelle is a boss. She bossed Barack. She said, I ain't going
to that mess.
I wonder if they had an argument like, Michelle, you gotta go. It's Jimmy. It's Jimmy.
I'm gonna be in Hawaii.
I'm sure he didn't. He probably learned his lesson. I'm sure he didn't.
That was awesome, beautiful testament to his character. So so Jimmy Carter is gone. When we come back, and we're gonna fill the 7 minutes left. But when we come back, just to let you know, we are going to tell you that what happened to the president today, as far as his trial. I'm gonna try to find some audio because the judge let him speak. And all I got to tell y'all, we in for a wild 4-year ride.
Yeah, because we talked about Panama. We didn't talk about him trying to take Greenland and possibly going after Denmark because they don't want to sell. Yeah, there's a lot going on with this guy.
So in local
And
news,
Canada.
what?
I forgot and Canada.
Oh yeah. And Trudeau is stepping down.
Yeah.
But
Canadian
Canadian politics is different.
Yeah, most
they don't wait until 4 years.
Yeah.
If when they get mad at you and your party get mad at you,
They out.
you just got to step down. I kind of like it.
It's closest to
14% popularity. It's like, oh, I gotta go.
But it's close. It's super close to how the parliament is in Britain.
Yeah.
Like Britain is the same way. We talked about it on the show one time when we talked about how parliament runs their thing, and they're standing up, just yelling at each other, pointing. It is all full out brawl in there. So
I saw it for myself.
Did y'all see about these pigs they found in was it North Buffalo or West Side, running around 2 small pigs that they didn't picked up? I want to know who dropped off some pigs in the city. That crap ain't funny. We got enough problems in this city. Pigs weren't going to the market, but they were running around on the West Side. People was trying to catch them the other day.
too easy.
Just want y'all to know.
Too easy. I'm not.
Yep, don't you do it. Too smart. It's just like one of the comments on here I can't read from Valerie Allen. I can't read it, Valerie. No, they weren't going to the market, but they did draw attention. They were on the something anyway. Oh yeah, that's too. It's a lot that can be unpacked there, and we are not going to.
No.
We are not going to. Also, I want to know, a man accused of stealing more than $14,000 from Bath and Body Works. Is that like
14,000?
he from like a few of them? Now, first of all, sir, you already know if they didn't seen you in one, they didn't seen you in all the others. But is Bath and Body Works a big deal? Like, is it expensive or something?
No, and half the time they got all kind of deals and sales, and so if you stole 14,000, I don't know what the return sale rate is on them, or you just got a lot of baby moms you trying to take care of, because that is crazy.
He a pimp.
Why? I mean, it's all over the news, man. I ain't gonna read his name. You can go find it yourself. But a man accused $14,000, and I think they didn't even get him in a store. I think, but they ended up getting this guy because he had been to several of them. He's 35 years old, stealing products during 10 different incidents, valued at $14,000. He was arrested on Wednesday in connection to the alleged incidents, January 5th and 6th, at the Clarence location. The second
that's
of which,
local.
this is local.
They should be doing a raid to his crib.
The second of which, a suspect allegedly threatened employees by saying, "I have a bomb, and this is a bomb threat." In a bath and body? In a bath, they charged him with 4th-degree grand larceny, 5th-degree conspiracy, 3rd-degree robbery, 3rd-degree grand larceny, making a threat of mass harm. There are 6 Bath and Body Works locations in Erie County, Buffalo, Blaisdell, and Ahmedabad. He was arraigned in Clarence and was remanded to the Erie County. So here's a question. If he was stealing, somebody was buying. Mm-hmm. Now, I know in here y'all about to be Christians, but I'm going to ask out there in the atmosphere, have you or will you accept merchandise that you know somebody stole, or have you bought hot merchandise?
Absolutely. I'll
absolutely
jump out there.
what? Come on.
Absolutely. I've definitely bought hot merchandise. I know I have.
Did you know it was hot?
Oh, yeah.
What about you?
No. Because if somebody stole my stuff and then sold it to somebody, no, I don't do that.
So I am a hard no, and I think that when people buy stuff and it's hot, I don't care what it is. And I always tell the story, my one incident I did in the past, my one incident, I'm going to tell it.
Because we're talking about in the past,
Testify.
like not you would do it now.
Right.
Testify.
So I got out of the military. I finished my basic, my tech school, and I had my car down in Texas, and I was driving all the way back to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. So I go to the gas station. I got a little money in my pocket. You know, you got your little check. So a guy come up to me in the gas station and he said, "Yo, man, you want to buy this ring?" And it was 3 diamonds. And I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." He's like, "Yo, man, my girl just got fired from a jewelry store. So she took some jewelry. So it's real." So I'm like, "Nah, man." He kept on, showed me the ring. He said, "Just try it on." Tried the ring.
That's how you get caught.
He said, "Give me whatever amount." I don't remember what it was now. So I was like, "Oh my goodness, I don't do this." And I was like, shoot, he gonna sell it to somebody else. So I bought it. Get in my car. Couple exits down is a mall. So I go to the mall because I'm like, I'm going to get this appraised. See what I got, because I'm coming back from the military. I got this diamond ring. Oh, wait till I get back to Buffalo. Go in the jewelry store. So the guy told me how much to get it appraised and said, give me an hour or so, blah, blah, blah. So I go out the door. He said, "Sir, you only have to go. You come back. I can't even charge you." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, this is all counterfeit."
Oh, wow.
I said, "What?" He said, "It's counterfeit." I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Sir, this is not real. Nothing about this is real." So I go back. I turn back to go back to the gas station.
Gone.
Because I'm figuring the guy is still there.
Gone.
With your receipt.
Yeah. So now nobody's there. I go in the gas station to see if the guy is in the store. I go up to the counter. The jewelry thing is up there. The ring, he bought it out of the gas station for like 20-something bucks. To this day, I still have that ring.
Wow.
I mean, it's green on the inside, and I have it as a constant reminder.
A bought lesson.
Don't you ever in your life do that again. Because you thought you had something, and you really had nothing, and you knew it was wrong when you were doing it. So I still to this minute had it ring.
That's your bought lesson. But so now let me just throw this out there. Are we including in this conversation
I'm glad I just swallowed.
bootleg CDs and DVDs of movies?
No, I don't buy that.
So for me,
Okay.
you can't even bring, when CDs were popular, you couldn't bring it in my house. I just feel a type of way about people's money. Now let's talk about bootleg stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about going on Canal Street in New York.
Oh yeah.
Have I gone on there?
Yes. Yeah.
At this point in my life, if I probably wouldn't. And this is why, because we have a mentality sometimes, people who do it, the man, I'm taking from the man. But the man also is employing some people.
Right.
And all that. And so at this point in my life, not because I'm holier than thou, I probably wouldn't go to like a canal street, or even when you go overseas, you see so much more. Station, get ready. I'm getting ready to come over to you for the commercials. Get ready to come over to the station for commercials. So I at this point, more than likely the answer is no.
He said hard no.
India is going to say he saw you coming a mile away. He did. And I paid the price, and I still have the ring. And however many hundreds of dollars I gave him, when I walked back in that store and saw that daggone, it was one of them cases.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And he had bought it from there and sold me the ring.
See, I would have thought you said that you was going to Mexico or something. They saw you coming, but you were.
Oh, they seen me coming in Mexico too in the past. I'm coming over to the station in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo: 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally, 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free, 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
So the incoming president had, if you all remember, he was convicted of all of this business fraud stuff. Today, within the last hour or so, a judge basically said, there's no punishment. And no punishment.
Yeah.
Basically, just summary for everybody, because of him holding the highest office in the land.
Yeah.
So he gave Donald Trump the opportunity to speak. And this is what to speak about his sentencing of what he was already found guilty of. And this is what.
Do you have the video, or are you reading?
I don't have the video.
Okay.
You got the video?
No, I was just making sure.
He stated, "I'm totally innocent. I did nothing wrong." He says that the proceedings were a political witch hunt and has done damage to my reputation, so I would lose the election. He also referred to his former attorney, Michael Cohen, saying he was allowed to speak as if he were George Washington, but he is not. He also discussed the 2024 election, claiming he won the popular vote. This is in court. He was remote.
Jeez.
That he won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes and secured victories in 7 swing states. This is what he's saying in court.
Wow.
This is what he's saying before he's about to be sentenced. And he described the experience as very terrible. And he thanked the judge at the conclusion of his statement. And then after sentencing, he went on his Truth Social platform and said that the proceedings were a despicable charade and vowing to appeal what he termed as a hoax. Now, the judge was masterful in his comments in the beginning. So you didn't know that not even a slap on the wrist. Wow. What did the judge say in the sentencing? Because I was all in, because the judge was basically saying you're not above the law.
Right.
At the sentencing of Donald Trump. But when it came down to his last words, I was like, I can't take it. And I'm not. Okay, so the judge, he sentenced Trump to an unconditional discharge for all 34 counts, imposing no punishment, no jail time, no fines, no probation.
So he is above the law.
So Diamond says he was convicted. Right, he was convicted of 34, but he got an unconditional discharge. Number 2, the judge explained that this was the only lawful sentence that permits entry of judgment of conviction. Merchant addressed Trump directly, saying, "Sir, listen to this. I wish you Godspeed as you assume your second term in office." He emphasized that it was the presidency itself, not the individual occupying the office, that warranted exceptional legal protections. The judge stated it's the legal protections. Why am I doing my fingers like? It's the legal protections afforded to the office of the president of the United States that are extraordinary, not the occupant of the office. Merchant acknowledged the unique nature of the case, but clarified that the proceedings unfolded like any other trial in New York. He noted that while the presidency has legal protections, those protections do not provide the power to erase the jury verdict.
Right.
So he did not get rid of the verdict. He just basically said, it's nothing I can do to you. So go on and walk, Jesse.
Go in peace.
So he is above the law.
He's still, as Marie just said, he's still a felon, but he's
He's a
basically
He's a presidential felon.
34 time. So if the president killed someone, would they say, "Oh, well, we can't convict him because he's the president"? I mean, legitimately.
I'll say this. It seems that it's harder to convict. But this is my problem. Bill Clinton did whatever, and it was huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
This man
impeached Clinton twice.
And I'm not saying it shouldn't have, but what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
And so now you have somebody coming in who's a felon, who
34 convictions.
And let's just do this. The people of the United States chose him as president.
Yep.
It is what it is. All I'm saying is always the water ought to taste the same, whether Democrat or Republican, whether rich or poor, whether black or white. But oftentimes it doesn't.
It's not blind.
And what's interesting is I just saw this clip by Roland Martin before I walked into the church, and he was talking about that Democrats are trying to play the game Republicans tried to play 4 years ago, and he played the clip of Mitch McConnell on January 6, 2021, basically bashing Trump and how Trump was at fault and Trump should be responsible. Trump's not above the law. Trump's not this.
Who was saying that?
This is Mitch McConnell on the Senate floor.
Uh-huh.
But he said Republicans tried to play this game and saying, oh, yeah, now we know that Trump is done.
Mm-hmm.
Once they realized that didn't work and that the American people weren't going to let the insurrection be the reason why Trump can now cast aside, then it was, oh, no, Trump's our friend. And then now Democrats have been trying to resurrect the insurrection issue and realize now that wasn't going to keep him out of 1600 Pennsylvania Ave.
And he's back.
He's back.
The man said, I'm back.
Yeah, he's back and probably not gonna leave. Like I'm gonna be a dictator. I'm gonna be Caesar.
He's got to leave, but
call me Caesar, Julius.
he did say that if he that we would not have to elect another president if he got elected. I don't know what that means,
But that's the thing. When you would probably have to do a constitutional amendment, but he already has Congress. He has the Supreme Court. If 80 plus million people already voted for him for president, when it goes to the ballot, there's no telling what this country would vote for. So,
yeah, I totally agree. So I think when I first heard it, it was just like, wow. Because when he said it, my stomach just was like, you don't even say like $100 fine. Like nothing. It's just over. It's just over. This is about to be an interesting 4 years.
And now this was on the 34 state of New York counts, right? This was in a state court.
State Supreme Court.
State Supreme.
No, State Supreme.
Yeah.
And it's an acting justice.
Yeah.
But what were you about to say?
No, that was going to be my question. Are we talking state Supreme Court?
Yep.
Because that's why I think I said it earlier was if I was the federal judge, I wouldn't have did it anyway because all you're going to do is pardon himself. And then this is all mute. So why go and lay off these outlandish fines? And even if you said jail time, all right, I'll just get rid of the sentence.
He could have got up to 4 years in jail.
Right.
He could have got, but he didn't.
And then they would have appealed it, and this process would have went on basically another 3 years. And I feel for the judge, but I kind of agree. Like at the end of the day, what am I going to do? And then now, depending on where this judge lives, now I got every Republican or super conservative in my town, my neighborhood, beating down my door And like you said, I'm just what you said, acting Supreme Court justice. So,
And like I said, his remarks in the beginning were masterful.
yeah.
You could tell he took his time, but it just felt like then it was like, but my hands are tied and bye. And by the way, have a great next 4 years.
Go in peace. And will probably become probably will become a federal justice
But I
at some
think
point.
that shows how corrupt the system is. That this judge or any judge, because everybody wants to be a Supreme Court judge or whatever when you in that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be friendly with him so that you can get something. So I would not put it past that this may be a federal
Absolutely.
judge one day.
Well, it's all about, I mean, whether we like it or not, it is all about politics in
Yes.
the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure no other judge wanted to touch this.
Yeah, absolutely
I'm
not.
sure nobody wanted to touch this trial. This man had to give a sentence to a sitting, about to be a sitting president again. And I think he tiptoed to the tulips. He gave this big rah-rah and then said bye.
He should have put his butt in jail until the inauguration at least.
See, I never thought he was going to go to jail.
Never.
I never thought that any judge was going to sit. I think
They leaked that last week. He wasn't going to jail.
I didn't think he was going to go to jail, but I did expect something. Just a little bit of something. Nothing.
34 convictions and you get a slap on the hand.
He got a slap on the hand.
Let it be Barack. If it was Barack, I wonder if they would have did something with him.
Yeah.
Locked up. They won't let him out.
I forget that. So the state of the state for the governor is coming up. Speaking of, I don't know how I'm tying all that in. Anyway, state of the state for the governor is coming up. Like, it's a lot of political news happening right now. A lot of moving parts. I've been meeting with some leaders in the community. I won't out who they are. They invited me to the table who look like me and talking really about what is the black agenda? Like, really having some conversations with some people who are not on the news, but who are very prominent and who, frankly, don't need the government but care about people. And we have been talking about what is the real black agenda, and from somebody who's been involved in politics, and so the question was, what are the organized African American, specifically African American groups that are involved in politics right now that can help move a political agenda? And if you look at it in all reality, I only know of one that's left. And so, and that would be Unity. Is there any other
Oh, were you talking locally?
locally?
Oh, yeah.
Anything else?
No.
The only man standing right now, the only group standing right now that if you, and this is important, folks, and I'm not saying there should be somebody else, but what I am saying is we got to look at what's happening around us, because it's not just about local politics. It's also about state politics.
Yep.
And when we talk about the governor and all of that right now in the city of Buffalo, there used to be, and I'm going back further than the days of grassroots. I'm going back further than the days of Unity. I'm going back to the days, of who put people like Arthur Eve in place. George K. Arthur
Yep.
in place. And they might not have been formalized like we did with like grassroots was or Unity. But when you look at it right now, unless you are connected with Unity or unless you are connected with the Democratic Party, you really don't have the armies of African Americans who are setting an agenda.
Right.
So to me, we all over the place.
All over.
And the people that, unfortunately, I'm going to say it now, I know I might take some heat. We got to be careful about going after each other
Yeah.
in order to deliver somebody else's agenda and know what the heck our agenda is. Because, and I'm being clear why I'm meeting with these folks and why I'm reaching out, and maybe next week we can have this discussion. Because I want to hear from people at the end of the day, because when people come to True Bethel, I don't want to just hand them a mic and say, oh, greet the people.
Right.
No, I want to stand on that stage and say, oh, by the way,
Right.
the people in this community are saying they want this, that, and other. I want to sit in the back office with them for 4 minutes and say, can you support this, this, and this? And if you can't support this, this, and this,
Sorry.
sorry, at the end of the day. But what has happened now is every man for themselves. And I want to say big ups to Unity. Unity helped me a lot.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be the guy. I'm not talking about 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I wanted everybody to get along
Absolutely.
in our community so that, you know, how it was back in the day. Unity would split up some of the committee seats, grassroots would split, and then all of a sudden it became
All or nothing.
all or nothing. I want everything, and now we have nothing. So everybody's out there by themselves, but what I'm seeing is scaring me a little bit as far as us, because I'm seeing us fight us. What? Us is fighting us, and that you don't see a problem there? And what's our agenda? What is it? I remember, I think it was Hillary Clinton came in above. You bring it up all the time, and she was like, "Okay, I got money on the federal level. What y'all want to do?" We never did anything because we couldn't get out of each other's way.
Yep.
And people are looking for jobs, and people are looking. No, at the end of the day, what is it that we want? And then this season, I can't hand the mic to just somebody to come and greet True Bethel and talk about we're going to straighten out the city. What does that mean? And what specifically, sir or ma'am,
Yep.
are you talking about the most disenfranchised people in this city that now can't afford to be in this city? What is your agenda? Without that, I'm telling you, I can't do it. I can't do it to my people. I can't do it to this community. And so I just want to put out there, those who are going against people that look like you ain't got to support them. But why are you going to try to tear them down so that so that other folks come in? I don't care whether you're black. I don't care whether you're white. I really do not care. What I care about is, do we know what we want? Because other folks know what they want.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Other groups know.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. We have no idea how long it took them to create Project 2025. I have no idea. The organizers, how long it took them. But again, and I've said it on this show, even, say what you want about him, even with Mitch McConnell had his plan in the late 80s when he got to the Senate of what I wanted to do.
Yep.
And it took almost 40 years to get to where we are right now. We want the Supreme Court, we want Congress, and we want the White House.
And they got it.
And they got it because there was a plan. Project 2025. It could have been in the making for 5 years. But guess what? It's a prepared agenda.
Yep.
That they have a roadmap now that says, we're going to do this. We're going to roll back this.
Yep.
Oh, we're going to get rid of diversity. We're going to get rid of all this stuff that that we let you put in.
Yep.
And like you said, now we've sat by the wayside for decades of, oh, well, just give me the hot dog. Just give me this little job and I'll be fine. Just give me this over here and I'll be fine. But neighborhoods have been crumbling. Infrastructure's been falling apart. Last to get everything because, like you said, we've been separate so long. Then it's, oh, well, let me take care of the loudest black leader, and then that should suffice for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I look at all this money that came in for AARP. We ain't got time to fight with each other.
No.
We need to know the facts. Water bills are supposed to be paid. Water lines supposed to be changed. And I ain't saying no individual. All I'm saying is it's like we let people lead us down the wrong road and then put up a wall and go, oh, y'all trapped now.
Yep.
And so when I watch our people and then I watch other communities who everybody think get tax breaks and all that, they don't. But I'm going to tell you what they do is they work within their community to make their community better, and they help each other.
Yep.
And I am going to keep pressing this. I don't care how bad people hate me saying this or like he on that again. I'm going to stay on it.
Yeah.
I got to speak at a citywide King celebration outside of Buffalo. And one of the things I'm going to be talking about next week at this location is how right now I believe we are our worst enemy.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be talking about that to probably a predominantly African American audience. Of we got to be careful that we don't become our worst enemy, and that we don't get into this. I'm doing right now a month of positive things that have happened in my day, every day, bringing positivity to my own mental health, because I am so afraid of what we are going to end up doing to we.
Absolutely.
If you look at from the state house to the federal, to the White House, to local government, if we don't get our stuff together, we are pawns on the chessboard. And that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
We're not the kings and queens of politics around here. We're pawns on the chessboard right now. And so I can go on and on, but I'm throwing out there that make people who go after other people that look like you an anomaly. But because of, you got to realize, we don't own the big tech companies.
No.
We don't own Facebook. We don't own any of these things. And they're set up, the algorithms are set up so that the negative get pushed to the top. We know it.
Or the negative, or the things that just keep you laughing and dumb.
Then they at the top.
They at the top.
But the serious stuff of us and our agenda and the real stuff, and that's why you don't see it. You are not, you not, man, it's frustrating when you think, go ahead, I'm sorry.
We're 14% of the nationwide population. In Buffalo, we're probably 30 to 40%. And we own nothing. And the bottom line is, when they put out products for consumers, they utilize black economics. They know that we're going to go purchase it.
Yep.
And so we don't pool our money together. A lady was upset with me because I had went and I had did a video for Double Apple, the new grocery store on Bailey. Mm-hmm. These gentlemen put in $2 million for that grocery. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's in our neighborhood. It's great quality, fresh fruit and produce. And they said, I'm not going in there because it's an Arab group that, and I'm like, what are we thinking? I appreciate him putting his money in and not asking the city.
But we'll go to Tops and
penny.
Wegmans.
You put it in our neighborhood. It's something of quality. It's something that you can get to. It's something that's kind of like a mini type of Wegmans or something, but it's something positive.
But nobody goes into Wegmans and says, I'm not going in there because, is it the Wegman family that own it?
Yeah.
Because the Wegman family own it, and because they're, I don't know their, I'm just saying, or because they're this political affiliation or that. No, you go in there and you buy very expensive food.
But you went into Family Dollar. That was nasty and filthy. And you go in there and they're disrespectful to us, because I would think that anybody that's a retailer, you want your stuff to be nice and clean and all that. They could care less. So I support and I agree with you. We have to have an agenda. And I keep bringing this up because I wasn't at the meeting. You told me about Hillary Clinton meeting with some folks and saying, hey, I need an agenda from you all. And that was how many decades ago? And we're now possibly, hopefully, we'll come up with one, because we got to start now, because like you said, things are moving in a whole lot of different directions, and it ain't looking like it's favoring us.
It ain't favoring us, and this is why so many of our young people move away.
Yep.
And they go to different places where there are opportunities, where we are a part of government, where we are organized, where we are professional, and so we end up losing them, and so. I got to get ready to get out of here. Hobson's the Dr. Dry Clean. Just stop tearing our own plate. Stop tearing. Speak up when this stuff happens, because it's ridiculous. I'm about to eat. Speaking of boosting, boosting business.
Lifting up.
I'm waiting for Rayshawn to bring me something from Heaven's Countertop. And I want to thank Fat Cats, too, who provided food for our Christmas dinner. I'm into promoting. I'm into promoting positivity. I want to promote. Y'all go over to Fat Cats and eat today. Y'all go over, and they're not a sponsor of this show. Go over to Heaven's Countertop. Y'all know where Fat Cats is on Kensington. Go over to Heaven's Countertop over on Hurdle Avenue, and go over to Hobson's, the Dr. Dry Cleaner, 874 East Delavan. Go over to Hobson's, take your stuff. I was going to send some stuff over there to be clean, but I was like, boy, you better get rid of that. You know you can't fit that. Why would you take some size 29 pants that you know you in a 32? So instead of sending them, 17 neck. Yeah, I'm a big boy. I'm a big back. 874 East.
Nah, listen, I just took a load to Hobson's, and they gave me all these receipts, and I'm like, good God.
Oh yeah, I don't take the receipts. I just get that text thing they got over there now.
The amount, I said, whew.
Yeah, they some.
But it was a lot. They're not expensive. It was just a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny question. How many times do you wear a suit before you get it clean? You, quick.
5.
Dang. How many times you wear a suit before you get it clean?
Depends on what I did in the suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just regular stuff. No sweat.
No sweat, probably 2 or 3.
How many times? No, I ain't gonna ask that. So me and my cousin say, how many times you change your watch color? I ain't gonna ask y'all to ask people that. How many times do you wear a pair of pants before you send them to cleaners or put them in the washing machine?
Like 2 or 3.
How about you?
2 or 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you get older, I'll be like, shoot, I'm wearing you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Will you wear the same one in a week? Will you wear the same pants in a week?
Yeah.
Will you wear the same? Me
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
I got some go-to black jeans.
yes.
Bro, you can change the top.
Listen, I just told somebody, don't let me find a good uniform for the week. You gonna see that?
Oh my gosh. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home, 3 locations to serve you in your hour of need. He was here this week with several situations. I want to thank